Welcome to Fearless. I'm here to help you overcome your fears. Fearless is not a game, it's an experience based on the ideas of exposure therapy or systematic desensitization. That means we'll go gradually, at your own pace, and you'll always know what's coming next. Before we begin, I'll have you fill out a few intake questions along with your email on the TV screen. It should only take a couple of minutes. Welcome to Fearless for Cockroaches. We're going to start really easy, and I'll help guide you through the process of gradually facing your fear. I'll always tell you what's coming next, and you'll be able to go at your own pace. We'll try to reduce or eliminate that panicky, uncontrollable feeling that you might get when you see a cockroach. My hope is that after just a few sessions with Fearless, you'll be able to respond more calmly next time you see one. Before we begin, I just want to ask how afraid you are of cockroaches. You can tap now and then answer on the following screen. We're going to begin with a cartoon drawing of a cockroach on the TV. Please tap when you're ready. Now, as you tremble at the sight of my drawing abilities, I'll give you a couple of tips for overcoming your fear of cockroaches. By the way, you're in good company. More than 25% of people are afraid of cockroaches too. If you've done another Fearless program, some of the things we'll talk about will be familiar to you. That's okay. To get a good outcome with Fearless, you'll want to spend time on each level until you feel more comfortable before going on. It won't help to rush through to the end. People who take their time and come back for multiple sessions are reporting a lot of success. Don't worry, the next step is just a big version of the same drawing. You can tap to continue. Alright, now you're getting the hang of this. But really, you're already way ahead of most people, just in deciding to face and conquer your fear. Let's keep going. Next is a more realistic drawing. Go ahead and tap when you're ready. Let's say this drawing or a future level makes you uncomfortable. Normally, you might react by looking away, concentrating on something else, or ripping off the headset. Things people do to avoid facing their fear are called avoidance behaviors. Instead, we're going to try to face the discomfort or anxiety and notice that it will start decreasing if you give it a chance. Successfully facing your fears is the best way to overcome them. That's what I'm here to help with. If you do need to stop at any point, that's okay as long as you make sure to come back. It should get easier each time. So, if you don't mind, I'd love to ask you just a few questions along the way. Your responses will be recorded using your built-in microphone and sent to us so we can improve the Fearless experience. If you prefer not to answer, you can just tap instead of talking. Tap for the first question. What I'd like to ask you is, why do you want to overcome your fear of cockroaches? Thanks. Now we'll look at a photo of a cockroach. You can tap whenever you're ready. Let's learn a little about cockroaches. Sometimes it helps to understand more about the thing you fear. This is the American cockroach. While there are over 4,600 species of cockroach, there are only a handful that are found commonly in human habitats. The American cockroach is one of the fastest running insects in the world. It can go over 3 miles an hour, which is a brisk walking pace for a human. Their movement is so impressive and robust that it has been studied in detail and used as inspiration for locomotion in robotics. Next is another photo, this time of a cockroach on someone's hand. Tap to proceed. You might be wondering whether cockroaches can be dangerous. A cockroach running around can't really do much to hurt you. You may have heard that they can bite, but that's quite rare and is not serious. They mostly avoid direct contact with humans. However, you don't really want large numbers of cockroaches hanging around, as they could potentially get bacteria in your food or trigger asthma or allergies in some people. But in terms of your reaction when you see a cockroach, there's no particular need for alarm. Now it's time to face a real baby cockroach. It's small and will stay on the far half of the table. But because it's the first real cockroach you're facing today, we'll take our time with it. Ready? Go ahead and tap. You may be feeling an increase in anxiety. Your heart rate may have increased, your muscles may have stiffened, and your breathing may have become shallower. That's your fear response kicking in, and it's normal for that to happen. You may be tempted to try to get the fear to go away as quickly as possible, either by taking the headset off, leaning away from the cockroach, or some other subtle way of avoiding your fear, but actually allowing yourself to feel fear in a controlled and gradual manner is the key to overcoming the fear. If your fear is overwhelming at any point, you can stop and come back later. But otherwise, let's see if you can sit and watch this cockroach for the next 10 seconds or so. You may have noticed that your anxiety has already started decreasing. That's your brain learning it doesn't need to be as afraid. Or you may still be quite anxious, in which case, good job hanging in there. Remember when I say you can tap to proceed, you should take your time and only tap once you've gotten comfortable with the current level you're on. You'll have better results if you spend more time on uncomfortable levels rather than trying to power through them. When you're ready, you can tap to let the cockroach walk around more freely on the table. Let's give this cockroach some time to get closer to you on the table. Try not to lean back or move away. Try to embrace any fear or discomfort or disgust you're feeling. I'm going to give you some time just to observe this cockroach and let your mind become more comfortable with letting it run around on the table near you. If you're feeling good about this cockroach, we'll try increasing the size and speed. Take your time and tap when you're ready to proceed. Remember to breathe and try to ignore the temptation to engage in avoidance behaviors. I'll give you a few moments to get acquainted. Now, as you watch, try to notice if you're engaging in any avoidance behaviors. If you catch yourself leaning away from the cockroach, see if you can sit naturally. If your muscles are tensing up, try to relax them. Try to breathe normally. I'll give you another few seconds. Think about the last time you encountered a cockroach and how you reacted then. Even if you're not feeling great, I bet you're reacting much more calmly this time. That shows how much progress you're making. Once again, when you're ready, we'll let this cockroach walk freely on the table. You're doing great. I'll give you a few moments again, and then we'll try an exercise. Okay, if you've done another fearless experience, this exercise will be familiar. Basically, you may have noticed in the past that when you see a cockroach, you want to watch it constantly to make sure you don't lose track of it. What we're going to do is intentionally look away for a bit so you can get more comfortable not knowing exactly where the cockroach is. Try looking up at the ceiling, and I'll tell you when you can look back down at the table. Keep looking up. Okay, you can look back down. Let's try a bit longer. Ready? Look up at the ceiling now. Halfway there. And back down. Great job. A lot of people find that exercise pretty challenging. If you did as well, I recommend coming back and practicing this level more. The next cockroach is large and fast. I'm going to have you stick around here until you're feeling pretty good before moving on. If you're already comfortable, you can tap at any time. Otherwise, stay on this level or practice looking up at the ceiling some more. This is a big one. See if you can stick with it even if you're not feeling great. While you're observing this cockroach, try to notice if you're engaging in any avoidance behaviors. I'll give you about 10 seconds on your own. Are you leaning away from the cockroach? See if you can sit more naturally. Are you repeating any thoughts over and over to try to feel safer or more comfortable? See if you can get yourself to be present here with the cockroach in this room. Try to allow yourself to be uncomfortable and afraid by facing your fear head on. This is how you will overcome your fear. I'll be silent for another 10 seconds so you can focus on being present and relaxed. Because you're doing so well, we're going to try a swarm of cockroaches on the table. Take your time and tap when ready. We're getting more challenging now, but you may be starting to feel more confident that you'll be able to hang in there and become more comfortable after a little while. I'm going to be quiet for 10 seconds or so and let you hang out with these cockroaches. Remember to relax, breathe, and notice any avoidance behaviors. Well done. I suggest you come back and repeat these levels tomorrow to solidify and increase the progress you've already made in decreasing your fear of cockroaches. Feel free to skip through the earlier levels that you're already comfortable with. Our final level will have cockroaches on the table as well as on the floor. They're free to run anywhere, including behind you and under your chair. If you don't feel ready, please stay on this level longer or take a break and come back for another session. But it will be very helpful to complete the experience in order to fully face your fear. There are cockroaches on the table and the floor now. As you can see, we've pushed past the point that you would face in real life, hopefully. If you can handle this, I think one cockroach won't seem quite as bad next time you encounter one. This is the final cockroach level for now. You've done an amazing job getting to this point. However, we're not done. Most people have found they need to come back and repeat the later levels several times. You can skip through the earlier levels. Take your time, but once you're feeling comfortable with this final level, I'd like to end with a few more questions. Tap for the first one. Do you feel any improvement from when you started? Do you think you'll feel more comfortable next time you see a real cockroach? Do you have any general or specific feedback about Fearless so far? I'd like to congratulate you once again on facing your fear of cockroaches. If you're feeling better about cockroaches now, that's incredible. If you're still quite uncomfortable, and if this experience was difficult for you, that's a sign that you're pushing yourself. It should get easier each time you come back. Good luck, and see you soon. We're getting more challenging now, but you may be starting to feel more confident that you'll be able to hang in there and become more comfortable after a little while. I'm going to be quiet for 10 seconds or so and let you hang out with these cockroaches. Remember to relax, breathe, and notice any avoidance behaviors.